Hello and welcome to QUTV News. I'm Lindsay Fisher. There is a new buzz in the air from college students.
And I'm Lucas Laudentine. Quincy University is home to a couple of veterans.
Denmark has changed rules to its social media, and it's where we begin today. Denmark is moving forward with a proposal that would ban social media for children under 15 years old. The plan was introduced by Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, who says that the phone and social media are stealing childhood from young people. Here at Quincy University, students have something to say about that.
I think it's a good idea, and I hope that the law gets passed, because first I think the children, they're not at higher risk to develop mental health issues, but also the children, they're able to build their own opinion instead of looking at their role models on social media and just being affected by that.
The legislation is not finalized yet, but lawmakers have reached a political agreement earlier this month to support the ban. Parents would still be allowed to give permission for children as young as 13 to use social media platforms. If Denmark passes the bill, it would become the second country to implement a nationwide social media age ban. For more information on the social media ban in Denmark, go check out qumedia.net. Quincy University has a small community of veterans on campus. While some veterans commute to Quincy University, the school still wants to make the campus home to these soldiers.
Of course, with dignity and respect. It's as they should, right? They gave us a free meal for Veterans Day.
Though it is just a meal to the veterans on campus, they are still very grateful.
Have you ever been worried about using AI as a tool on your work? QUTV's Kyron Dunet takes us on a deeper dive into the AI policy at QU.
Artificial intelligence seems to be evolving day by day, and no matter the opinion, it will continue to become a big part of everyday life. Education is not excused from this. Teachers and students alike are trying to navigate the world of AI as it intertwines with the classroom. Professors are striving to maintain the purity in learning as well as innovation. Students are worried about plagiarism and its consequences and want a more definitive policy. There must be a way to bridge the gap.
I think if a student is caught, let's say, using AI to complete their essay, I think that's definitely a no. It should be a zero. You know, if the student didn't do the work, then they shouldn't get credit for it. But students who are using AI as a tool to use their own work and their own words, but to just help it kind of organize their thoughts or maybe point them in a certain direction, I think that's another thing. I think that's where we can see AI really help our students.
I'm here in Francis Hall, which is the mecca for all things QU. So if AI wants to be as universal as it is around the world on this campus, it's gonna have to get through this building and the powerful people who stay in it. Good luck. The admissions committee is currently reviewing and reshaping the AI policy at QU. While noticing AI strengths, the committee is also taking into account the weaknesses that are presented. Dr. Kimberly Hale is looking to bring that healthy balance to the QU community.
I think there should be a policy in the catalog that then refers you to, reminds you to look at the syllabus for each class, right? So I think that there should be, that obviously each professor should be able to decide what their policy is and how much AI usage there is in their class. But I also think that we do at some point have an obligation to at least expose students to the ethical use of AI, because it's not going away.
The new AI policy will be in effect fall of 2026. Kyron Dunet, QUTV News, Quincy.
As AI changes how students learn, QU is setting the rules to keep innovation and ethics hand in hand. QU students are struggling to keep their clothes clean. QUTV reporter James Morton tells us more.
At Quincy University, every dorm has a limited number of washers and dryers available to each dorm. And sometimes this can cause students to become extremely stressed about whether or not they can finish their laundry in time for an event, such as football players needing to wash their pads. Washing cycles taking about 30 minutes and dryers running for at least an hour. The wait times can add up very quickly, especially when students have classes, sports, or work scheduled.
So the laundry situation at Pat, I mean, it's not necessarily like the best, Just mainly because it's always problems.
Students wish that the Quincy University would be able to expand onto washers and dryers just to make it a little bit easier. But at this current time, there is no plans in action.
I like that the dorm has laundry on every floor. I think that's very helpful, especially since it's co-ed. I don't like how there's only 2 washers and 2 dryers, and I feel like they break very easily.
James Morton, QUTV, Quincy.
For decades, nicotine trends have come and gone on college campuses, from cigarettes in the 1950s to vaping in the 2010s. Now a new trend is taking over. Nicotine pouches like Zins are a new trending topic among college students. QUTV's Carter Lenzen is here in studio to talk about these pouches.
Yeah, so Carter, why do you believe that these things called lip pillows are so popular?
Well, guys, I believe these pouches are the new social commodity at parties because they're easy to just hand out open and it's easy for everybody to get a quick buzz. But before that, let's learn what a Zin is. These small, smoke-free, spit-free pouches come in a variety of flavors and strengths. They're easy to use and have become quickly popular for the way students over 21 get their nicotine fixes. But some say they come with risks, as well as some believe that the pouches are a new constant way to get energy.
I think college students like Zins just because I feel like some of them feel like it helps them focus maybe, or maybe it's that constant buzz that Zins can give you to help you feel more like yourself. I feel like since it's same thing as vaping, you know, just a little buzz, make yourself feel more alive, I guess that would be my answer.
These inexpensive pouches are the new social gathering tool for college party goers. But since these pouches are so new to people are not sure what the long-term effects on the brain of the college student is.
So Carter, do you believe that there will be a big problem coming up with the new flavors of these pouches and how easy it is to get?
Yes, I believe that's going to be a very large problem due to the fact that now gas stations are selling the Zins at Night edition that are espresso martini flavored, Bloody Mary flavored, as well as margarita flavored. So it's just going to uptick in the party goer status of popping those in while they're at a party. As well, people don't know the long-term effects, so it could be very dangerous.
Yeah, so Carter, what do you think makes the price so attractive, and do you think there'll be any longer-term effects if students continue to use them?
Yeah, for sure. The price right now is around $3 to $5 a can, but there are places around Quincy that sell the actual logs, which is 5 cans, for around $10, which is the deal for the college students to use. And the long-term effect, you're going to start seeing a true addictiveness to these pouches and a true need to go get them. So that's why those $3 to $5 are going to be creeping up and really getting into the wallets and causing true addiction with these college students.
Thank you, Carter. How often do you wash your water bottle? Well, it turns out you probably need to wash it more. Here's Jasmine Hopkins ready to tell you more about it.
There are a lot of athletes here on campus, and as an athlete, to stay hydrated, a lot of students carry around a water bottle throughout the day. But did you know your water bottle can make you sick if you don't wash it enough, or if you don't clean it often enough? We asked some students on campus how often they wash their water bottles.
The lid, I wash way more often than the actual body of the water bottle because I get lip gloss in the straw part and it gets kind of gross because I wear lipstick or lip gloss so often and it grosses me out. So I wash this probably, like every other day. And then my body of my water bottle, maybe once a week.
I think you definitely should wash them, especially like with reusable ones. I know with like Owalas or stuff with like the thin straws, a lot of bacteria grows there, so you should be more cautious of cleaning that.
I just kind of think it's so gross not to wash, especially the part where your mouth is.
No, I think it's all a part of me. I think it's okay. It helps build my immune system.
Realistically, if you're drinking out of your water bottle every day and you're refilling it multiple times throughout the day, you should wash it daily. If you're drinking something other than water, you need to wash it more often. If you're often in a hot or humid environment, that's another good time to wash your water bottle more often. But washing your water bottle every day is a chore. So once a week does help a lot. Or even just the lid to your water bottle helps prevent the spread of bacteria and sicknesses.
Remember to wash your guys' water bottles. They collect a lot of bacteria. And while it is a little scary, you can always go to the calf and fill it up. Remember to stay hydrated.
I'm not sure about you, but that seems like a good enough reason for me to wash my water bottle when I get home. Every incoming NCAA athlete has to submit their results for a sickle cell test. QUTV took a look at why the NCAA requires athletes to take a test for a disease that affects less than 1% of the population. In order to be eligible to compete in NCAA athletics, all athletes must submit results of a sickle cell test. It is estimated that around 1% of Americans have the sickle cell trait. This test is standard in all newborn babies in the United States. However, sometimes tracking down the results can be annoying for incoming athletes.
Well, it was inconvenient and time-consuming for me to find my sickle cell test results from when I was a kid. I still believe that it is important for the NCAA to get these test results for all their athletes.
There are numerous reasons that the NCAA requires these tests. Athletes with sickle cell disease are more susceptible to things such as heat stroke or muscle failure when practicing or working in extreme temperatures or conditions such as humidity.
And pain being one of those, right? Pain management, and then also if you have a chronic illness that can affect you, but also cause joint pain or also cause, affect other organs. I would also say depression and mental health can become an issue with that.
It's important that coaches and athletes understand and are proactive in their treatment of the symptoms, because should symptoms or crises get severe enough, it's possible that an athlete would have to stop playing their sport altogether. Despite the fact that the trait is not prevalent in the population, the risks associated with athletes who have it provide the NCAA with a valid medical reason to require every incoming athlete to submit a completed sickle cell test. Because sickle cell is genetic, it is possible that people can be carriers of the gene without having sickle cell disease. The finals coming up, my schedule is flooded.
Yeah, not as flooded as some parts of the United States though, Lucas. Stay tuned to see kayaks on the roads. Long Beach, California got hit with rain, causing streets to flood. Multiple neighborhoods flooded in Southern California. Naples, Long Beach, and many others were hit early with rain this fall. Nearly 10 inches of snow fell from the sky, leaving people to use kayaks instead of cars. A lot of people put sandbags outside of their garages to keep the water from coming in. Since the water has gone down and kayaks have been put away.
And we got to end last weekend in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, I was outside practicing on the field without long sleeves on, but I think I'm pretty ready for holiday weather. What do you think, Grant? Is it coming soon?
Yeah, I think it was this last week we were going to be able to wear a t-shirt and shorts around campus. So let's take a look at what we have in store for this week. It is finally flannel season. You can bust those out, wear them for Thanksgiving. You can also say goodbye to the sun for this week. It's also going to be gloomy, cloudy. And we also can say goodbye to the 70-degree weather. It's going to be 60s and above for the rest of the fall, hopefully, before we have a winter weather come in. It's going to be 53 degrees today with the low of 45, but 53 is going to be right above the average of November 19th all the years, with a high record of 79 set in 1942, the low record being 12 degrees in 2014. Like I said, 53 degrees, partly cloudy. And then this evening, it's going to be 45 degrees, partly cloudy again with some scattered showers tonight while we're in bed. 60 degrees tomorrow, again, scattered showers throughout the day. Let's take a look at the weekend, 52 degrees on Friday with a low of 39. That'll be Friday evening with, again, rain. So it's going to be a soggy weekend with Saturday being 54, but we're going to get some more rain Saturday night. Jumping to Sunday, you got 60 degrees, and then on the low, 43 is going to be 58 on Monday afternoon. It's going to be 47. 55 on Tuesday with a low of 32. It's going to be right above the freezing point. And on Wednesday, you have a high of 42, the day before Thanksgiving. And that's what I have for your forecast today.
With winter break and Thanksgiving break quickly approaching, that means basketball season and the end of fall sports. Freya Hansen will tell us more after we come back. The Hogs had a busy weekend across multiple teams.
Yeah, football had an exciting senior day, had some down-to-the-wire action and a couple basketball games. Quincy fans got a lot to watch.
Yes, and one more thing is that one team is ready for the GLVC tournament after 2 clean sweeps this weekend. So Freya, what do you have in store for us today?
Well, first of all, one of the women's basketball players, she had an amazing weekend. But before I tell you who she is, I first think we should take a preview on how the basketball team has been doing before coming into these 2 games. So let's take a look at that. The women's basketball team has been preparing for the last few months for the first game. QUTV's Katie Flynn is going to show us what they're doing to get the team chemistry flowing before their 2025-2026 season starts.
Since August, the QU women's basketball team has been at work. With the brand new coaching staff and 14 new players, it is important for them to build on practices and create that team chemistry. Graduate assistant Maya Long gives insight on how the coaches get their team ready to go.
We have this app called Synergy where we get a lot of the game clips from the other team from last year, and then if they played this year, we have some of those. So we put the clips together for the team to watch, like on personnel and then certain plays or like how they play defense. So we have that shared, and then we create like a paper scout with all the players and like what they're good at, what they're not good at, like their shot percentage, all that stuff. So we prepare that way.
First game jitters are bound to happen, but when you have a strong bond, everything else seems easy. Shoot around, film, and the bus rides are some of the ways the team interacts as a group before tip-off.
I think it's super important just for us to get super close and just bond over the weekend and be ready for the games. That really just builds the culture that we're trying to build.
We just got done with shoot around and are about to head to the Vans and go on our first away trip to Truman State, where we will play Cedarville on Friday and then play Ursuline on Saturday.
Whether it's talking to a teammate, braiding their hair, or even working on school, the bus rides help you relax in whatever way you need to. Katie Flynn, QUTV News, Quincy.
The women's basketball team went on to win both games this weekend and starting their season 2-0. We'll have more on that now. The women's basketball team had their first official game of the season on November 14th against Cedarville University. With an almost completely new team, head coach Ali Schwachmeyer-Belger secured her first win of the season with a score on 57-71 to the Hawks. Moving on to the next game, for the women's basketball team, they took on Ursuline College on November 15th. And another win was in the calendar for the Hawks after number 3, Katie Flynn, dominated the whole game. The Hawks sealed a 61-78 win. Next up for the women's basketball team is their first official game against Missouri Southern. They are playing in the Hanson Spear Classic. Congrats to the women's basketball team on their first 2 official games. After 2 dominating wins and an outstanding performance, the GLVC Women's Basketball Player of the Week is our very own QTV reporter Katie Flynn. After having 17 points against Cedarville University and a season-high 32 points against Ursuline College and an 11 rebounds, Katie Flynn gets a deserved recognition. Congrats once again, Katie. Now to the men's basketball team. The Hawks also had their official game on November 14th against Cedarville University at Pepsi Arena. And the same story goes for this team, because Coach Brad Hoyt also walks into this game with 9 new players. Throughout the game, the Hawks had a shooting percentage of over 60%. Also, the first half started with a Hawks lead as they raced out to a 12-3, where number 0 Cameron Kincaid and number 44 Ethan Wolfen was behind most of the goals. Tiernan Steins is number 42, also followed up with 7 straight points. Cedarville tried to battle back, but without luck, because the Hawks' defense got in the way, and the Hawks closed the first half with a lead of 37-32. Second half was very similar to first half, so after dominating both halves of the game, the Hawks secured a win on 89-80. Now moving on to the men's second basketball game of the weekend, where the Hawks took on University of Findlay, who is seeded as number 32 in the nation. This game is a little bit of a different story because the Hawks really pushed Findlay to the limit. Quincy came out strong with an 8-0 run on and kept the pressure on Findlay. Behind big plays from Tierney Steins in number 42 and number 0 Cameron Kincaid, and timely 3 from Max Boer in number 20, leading just 42-40 at half. The Hawks fought back, but from multiple second half deficits, with Steins scoring 7 straights and Brown hitting 4 clutch free throws to give QU a 74-73 lead in the final minute. But a late Findlay layup with 13 seconds left sealed a 75-74 loss after Quincy's final possession slipped away. The next game for the Hawks is Hannibal Lagrange University. NCAA football had its final game of its season against Southern Baptist University Saturday, November 15th, a day that included celebrations of the seniors as well. Our very own QUTV reporters Corda Lenson and Michael Lanier were among those seniors. The spirit of the day was to get one last final win for those seniors. So let's take a look at how that went. The Hawks put up 459 total yards and controlled the clock. But one significant thing that happened was senior Jalen Wolf in number 0 scoring a big boy touchdown by catching a direct snap and going for the touchdown and succeeding. Defensively, and its interception from number 22 Brock Inman's helped holding SBU away from scoring. And I guess the Hawks liked stealing the ball that day because another interception from Aiden Bose in number 25 helped holding a late SBU rally away. Also, the quarterback in number 7 Braden Little threw for 304 yards, while number 28 Colin Horsons led the offense with 142 rushing yards and over 200 total yards. The Hawks barely won with a score of 37-35. Congrats to the seniors on one last win. The Hawks round up their season with a 6-5 record. The Quincy University women's volleyball team was on the road this weekend as they had back-to-back games in the GLVC play on Friday, November 14th. The Hawks dominated Missouri S&T in Rolla, taking a 3-0 win behind strong serving and control at the net. They followed that up on Saturday, November 15 with another clean 3-0 win over Maryville and St. Louis, continuing their momentum and locking in 2 straight conference victories. The Lady Hawks now have a record of 22-5 as they are going into the GLVC tournament as they take on Truman State University. Best of luck and congratulations to the women's volleyball team. A U.S. student athlete needing some extra cash? On Saturday, November 22nd, NCAA college athletes will be allowed to bet on professional sports. NCAA passed a ruling on October 28th that allows athletes to place money on professional sports only. Now football Sundays will a whole lot better. Before this was passed, only non-NCAA sponsored sports were allowed to be figured unlike MMA and UFC fights.
I'm excited for sports betting because as a student athlete, I'm invested in sports, especially pro sports. My favorites to watch are football and hockey, and being able to bet on them is like another form of entertainment, and I can make a profit from it. So I'm excited.
It's a long time coming for some students. Some athletes' lives revolve around sports. Some find happiness in watching sports. Now add the chance to make money makes it even better. Betting on college sports still is prohibited and could result in loss of eligibility. And that wraps up QUTV Sports. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you, Freya. Lindsay, I don't know, do you prefer Mexican or Chinese food?
I think I'm a bigger Chinese food person because I love myself some cream cheese crab rangoons dipped in some sweet chili sauce. So stay tuned for the global food that made a sizzle on QU campus. Global foods were served in the CAF last Wednesday. The CAF staff did this to celebrate International Students Day that is held on November 17th. This also gave students to try out what internationals might eat on a daily basis back home.
The CAF at Quincy University had a Global Foods Night for the Quincy University students. Students from all over campus piled into the CAF to see what the CAF had in store for the different types of foods from all over the world. One of the foods that was provided was naan with hummus. This food originated from the Middle East, specifically Syria or Egypt.
I think my favorite part about the CAF holding this event is that it just incorporates so many different foods from different cultures, and we kind of just get to try a little bit of food from every spot in the world, and I think that's pretty cool. And my favorite dish, I think, was probably the burrito tacos.
The Thai shrimp rolls and some sweet chili sauce were next to the mushroom herb archini. These foods went fast as students were filling their plates. The students were also engaging with the CAF workers as all the students were curious about each type of food. The elote corn dip with chips came familiar to some students as it is popular food on TikTok and sometimes served at the CAF.
What's better than a long day of practice in class to come get some nice global food at the CAF? After you've seen everyone get some, I'm going to try some myself. I'm going to try this corn elote dip first. Okay, not bad, not bad. I think the next thing I'm gonna try is this like shrimp roll. I'm gonna dip it into some sauce. Pretty good, pretty good.
Dumplings were being refilled by the staff quite a bit as they are a meat-filled wonton that is very popular in America, but originally originated in China and usually goes good with some soy sauce.
I think it was super interesting because it's always interesting to me to taste new things and see other people's cultures because everybody is from a different culture here, so it's really exciting and different to see that. And my favorite food here was the dumplings.
The students may have been stumbling out of the CAF after that meal, but maybe they need to save some room for the big Thanksgiving feast coming up.
If you'd like to see more food events put on at the CAF, please speak to a CAF staff worker, and they are happy to hear some ideas you might have.
That food really looked good. I think I was a little bit bitter not to see any Danish food because my favorite dish is something called tarteletter, but I guess it's all right. Did you guys like any of the global foods?
I didn't get the opportunity to go. I had class, but my favorite international food is poutine from our neighbors up north.
Yeah. I'm personally partial to like anything that has seafood in it, which is a little tough to do in Quincy, Illinois when you're not exactly close to a coastline.
Yeah, well, speaking of seafood, I personally like the Thai shrimp rolls dipped in some sweet chili sauce, but I'm also a big Thai food person, so that was probably why I liked it the most. And that wraps up today's QUTV News. Thank you for joining us, and for QUTV News this week. You can find more stories on QUmedia.net, Facebook, and Instagram. Have a great day.